Now, Britain's currency is falling so fast that traders are nicknaming it the Great British Peso or the Brexit Lira. It is the worst performer against the US dollar this month. And politicians have been panicking in Parliament. We'll have a small sample of that in a moment, but first the numbers. Now, since the UK voted to leave the European Union, the pound's value has plummeted. Less than 2 weeks after the UK's vote to leave the EU, the pound fell below $1.30. Between July and the end of September, the pound hovered between $1.30 and $1.35. But then the pound sank further after the Prime Minister Theresa May announced that she will start the formal process of leaving the EU by the end of March next year. £1 now buys just $1.22. Well, here's what happened in Parliament. The opposition leader there, Jeremy Corbyn, took this opportunity to criticise the Prime Minister's handling of Brexit.
This is a government that drew up no plans for Brexit, that now has no strategy for negotiating Brexit, and offers no clarity, no transparency, and no chance of scrutiny of the process for developing a strategy. The jobs and incomes of millions of our people are at stake, the pound is plummeting, business is worrying, and the government has no answers.
First of all, the Secretary of State for exiting the European Union has already made 2 statements in this House. I believe 4 hours of questions followed from those. A new select committee has been set up, which crucially includes representatives from all parts of the United Kingdom, which will be looking at these issues. And only just over a week ago, I announced that there will be a great repeal bill in the next session of Parliament to repeal the European Communities Act. So Parliament's going to have every opportunity to debate this issue.
Oh, typical drama in the British Parliament there, but according to some, it isn't all doom and gloom. Michael Saunders, a member of the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee, says the pound may drop even further this week, depending on government decisions, but that it could actually help some businesses. He says if you didn't have a drop in the pound, the effect may be a markedly weaker export performance, and the drop in the pound will probably offset that. Whether or not it will more than offset that, it is probably too early to say, given we do not yet know the UK's post-Brexit arrangements. So, in a nutshell, a weaker pound will probably help British exporters. Well, here's another view, this time from the City of London. This is Craig Erlam, a senior market analyst at a firm that trades currencies.
Well, I think there was always going to be 2 to 3 shocks for the pound. The first one was going to come from the vote itself, which of course we had. The second came a little earlier than expected, which was the triggering of Article 50, which hasn't happened yet, but that was going to open a lot of questions about what type of deal the government was going to go for. And I think the third shock's going to come from the eventual deterioration in the economic data. So far, we've seen some of the benefits of the weaker pound, such as improved exports, more tourism, which has led to higher retail sales, and I think we're kind of basking in the glory of this at the moment. We haven't yet had some of the more serious detrimental data, which is going to, I think, create the third wave of negativity for the pound. Whether we have to wait for the end of the year for that or early on next year is yet to be seen, but I do think that is coming. I think the only thing they can really do is deliver a message which convinces people that the future of the UK economy is going to be stable, it's going to be secure. I think most concerning is the 3 most important people in this process, Prime Minister Theresa May, Chancellor Philip Hammond and Brexit Minister David Davis. They all seem to have different lines on it themselves, so if the 3 of them can't come up with a consistent line, then how is anyone in the markets meant to totally or in any way understand exactly what their position is going to be and therefore exactly how the next 2 years is going to go? And I think as a result of this, I think the government has a lot of work to do, but I'm not convinced that they are going to do it. So as far as I'm concerned, I think the volatility around the pound is going to remain for some time yet.